Alright there. Hi there. I'm making another video just because I feel like it. Here's my Tippmann A5. Why am I doing a Tippmann A5 review? There's plenty of them online. There's plenty of these guns sold. Plenty of people use them all the time. Famous people like Borg used to use them. And, you know, they're like tried and tested. A lot of people like them. A lot of people hate them. Well, I personally don't really like mine. I haven't used it since the third or fourth time I played paintball. Just because I don't feel like putting it back together. Everything inside is perfectly fine, but there's this O-ring inside of this Tombstone valve right here. If you're looking for a maintenance video, you might want to look elsewhere, but there's an O-ring that goes in here, and I pinched mine and I ripped it, and I just haven't found one since then. I don't feel like going online and paying, you know, $1 or $2 for one. So, you know, it was cool when I used it. I had a lot of fun. A lot of people say Tippmanns are heavy. I would wholeheartedly disagree with that. They have obviously never held a Sheridan or a VM68 or an Automag or anything old and cool and old school cool. So, yeah, kind of neat little markers. I'm not a big fan of the Cyclone feed. A lot of people, you know, swear by them. I figure feed neck's perfectly fine for me. It was cool when I, you know, played with it though. I liked pushing the button to make it cycle. That was a lot of fun. What else can I say about it? You can see, you can maybe see the dust on it. I just haven't used this marker in forever. A lot of fun. This isn't the stock A5 barrel. This is actually the stock TPX barrel. I'll make a separate video about the TPX sometime. Mine has a Opskier G36 stock. It's not a folding stock. It's just a regular one. I liked how it looked. A UMP RAP4 UMP mag. I wanted the Opskier one, but they stopped selling them. But they're exactly the same thing, so you know, I guess it's just you can either have RAP4 or Opskier across the top. I had a MP5 shroud. I was going for some kind of like future rifle, you know, alien rifle type looking gun, but it didn't work out like that, so it's just sticking like this. I gave away the shroud to a friend, and he made it into like a shotgun looking type thing. It was pretty cool. We used to have a lot of fun playing with them, but you know, I've just moved past this marker and I've moved on to different waters. So when I used it, it was okay. I mean, it got the job done. It wasn't as accurate as some of the other markers that are on the market. It's not as fast as some of the other markers on the market, but it's a workhorse. You know, it's like the VM68. This is, you know, like the VM68 of this age. It just works all the time. They're kind of a pain in the butt to take apart, in all honesty, just because it's like a clamshell type thing, or receiver. But you know, you take it apart and it's just kind of a pain in the ass, especially this return spring that goes on this cocking handle. That's just a pain in the butt to get back in there. So, you know, they're fun, but to me, not really worth it. I always think it's kind of weird too when people put a stock on it and then they put a tank on it and they use the tank as a stock. Don't see the point in that. If you're going to run a stock, you know, run a remote line. Whenever I use this, I ran a remote line. I've typically kind of shied away from remote lines. I don't really like them anymore, just because they tend to get caught up on things. I like to crawl a lot, and they'll get caught up, and I'm kind of scared that one day I might like slice it or something. So, you know, that's up for the user to decide. As you can see, her name was Shelly. I named all my markers back in the day, just because it was a little bit of fun. I don't think the other side says anything. Oh, it says Shelly again, and I put a big target on the front, and I've been hit on there many a time. I think it's kind of dumb that Tippmann made a big flat surface to hit. That's just kind of stupid. With their newer X7 hoppers, I suppose they fixed that, but you know, so just a little look around the marker. Yeah, it's an A5, so pretty cool. I guess, you know, I have a little bit more time. I bought the RAP4 magazine, and it came with two different screws. It came with this one and this one. They replaced the Tombstone pins, I think. I'm not sure if they're pins or screws, but they replaced whatever goes right here and here. You know what, I should probably pick this up and show you. These screws replace whatever goes here and here. Well, the first time I put it together, I stripped this screw. I mean, you know, come on, RAP4. I know that you guys don't put out the best stuff, but at least give me a screw that's not going to strip the very first time I do it. So I had to very carefully take a hacksaw and cut a groove in it. So now instead of a you know, hex screw, it's a flathead screw. So, you know, that was kind of a pain in the butt. But if you're looking for one, I mean, it works. If you're careful, don't strip it. It's perfectly fine. I just like it for the look. I think it's kind of cool. It gives me something to grab onto, just like that. and you know, I can shoot to my heart's content and be like pow pow pow. I think this is the older model A5. There's 2 or 3 different kinds of A5s. I can't really remember. I know it has something to do with these lines and where these bolts are, if they're forward or backward, but a lot of the old ops gear kits you had to either have the old A5 or the new A5. They wouldn't fit each other. The ops gear stock, it works. I mean, it's a little short for me now. I was a lot smaller when I bought this gun, and you know, now I've grown up a lot. So I think I got this marker when I was 14, and you know, I'm 19 now. I definitely have a much longer reach, so this stock is quite a bit too short for me. But it's lightweight. It's nice. I like it. Like I said, some people will pick up this gun and think it's really heavy, and they'll get tired. This gun is ridiculously light to me. Kind of a cool story. I'll tell this story. You know, I'm from Germany, and I have a lot of friends from Germany, and they visit, you know, a lot of the time. So we had a friend of the family who is actually a member of GSG-9, the anti-terrorist squad in Germany, and you know, I was trying to be a cool little kid. I think I was 15 at the time, and I was showing him, you know, all my markers, and he picked up this one, and he was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And you know, he was having fun, like, you know, flipping it around and aiming it all down the halls, and he's like, wow, man, this is really cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, really? And he's like, yeah, it's way better than my service rifle. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And then he started bad-mouthing his service rifle. So, you know, if that's anything, it's just kind of cool that you know, an actual military personnel, you know, picked it up, thought it was kind of cool. So there's a little bit of a story for it. I guess I have about a minute more, so why not tell another story. One time I was out playing Capture the Flag at a local field, Las Vegas Premier Paintball, in their middle field before they changed it to big septic tank type drum things, and spools and round things. It's like, we call it the round field because everything's round in it. So before they did that, it used to be kind of like a little castle type field. Like there were lots of like flat surfaces and little, you know, like pallets and stuff. So we were playing, and we were playing Capture the Flag, and we play unlimited respawn, Capture the Flag. If you get hit, you run back to the base, put your hand on it, and you can go back in the game. Just a lot of fun, because it's, in all honesty, I don't find it very fun if you know, you get hit and then you're out, and then your friends take, you know, 25 minutes to play the darn game. So you know, I just decided to run for the flag. I put down my marker, took off my pod pack, and, you know, I was about to run. And then my best friend looks at me, one of my 2 best friends looks at me, and he's like, hey, man, let me use your marker. And I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And he's like, okay, man, I'll give you cover in 3, 2, 1. And then he pops up, and he starts shooting, and I'm running for the flag. I grab the flag out of the middle of the field, and I start running back. And I look at him, and he's using both his rental marker from the day and my A5. So it was kind of cool. You know, he picked up both of them and started shooting, and we won that round. I think we won the game, but, you know, I don't really know. So Tippmann A5 is kind of a cool marker, kind of a pain in the butt to take apart. Just my kind of overview look at it. Not very heavy for me. Might be heavy for some younger guys or some smaller guys. But, you know, I'm kind of a big dude, so it's not a problem. I love this cocking action. It's so satisfying, just because I really like it. I should have mentioned that earlier. But in order to engage it, you have to cock it, and then you push the little button, and that engages the cyclone, so then you can start shooting. They're a lot of fun. I wouldn't really recommend it for a newbie. Even though this is marketed as kind of a newbie gun, there's a lot of parts and a lot of stuff that can go wrong if you don't put it back together just right. This O-ring can be one pain in the butt if you don't know what you're doing, or if you can't find the right part. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave a comment, question, whatever you need to. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.